Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for Sunday, January 28, 2024. You're currently looking at the National Weather Service current hazards that we're going to be going over, as well as the SPC's convective outlooks for day 1 to 3 only. We're going to be looking at some forecast models and also looking at the current surface map of what's going on right now. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, The Weather Guru, for the latest interpretation of weather news as it becomes available. Thank you so much for your support. Now, right now, we're looking at the National Weather Service, courtesy of them, the current hazards for today. And as you can see, by and large, much of the country in the lower 48 is pretty clear, with the exception of the upper Midwest and the Northeast. We're going to be seeing some dense fog advisories in the Minnesota and Iowa districts. So if you're coming in the Quad Cities or north, heading on to Albert Lake, Minnesota, up to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the Twin Cities, and towards northwood on bound there, be careful because there's dense fog advisory this morning into this afternoon. And as you can see, a lot of the green here is doing these swollen rivers here. We had a lot of rain come through last weekend and a couple of days ago, and that's swollen some of these rivers here just to the west of Chicagoland and down through the south in the mid-Mississippi Valley. If you're in Mississippi, Louisiana, eastern Texas there, that heavy rainfall rates we had last week of 1 to 2 inches an hour prompted these flood warnings as these rivers begin to crest, as they're not crest as of yet, but they're just swollen. So that's why we had these flood warnings in effect here in the green. Now, we also have some winter storm warnings in the higher elevations of the Smokies, of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. If you're in Boone, Banner Elk, up in those areas, Klingman's Dome, up in those areas, it's the highest of high elevations. We'll be experiencing snowfall rates up there anywhere to 3 to 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches guaranteed. Winter weather advisories extended there as well. And then we have a high wind watch for those areas to the east and the foothills from Asheville to Hickory down through the North Georgia mountains there, and a touch of South Carolina there. Sassafras Mountain, the highest points, maybe getting some high wind warnings there. But in the northeast, we had those effects of the winter storm watches and advisories here. This extends to the Berkshires, the Green and White Mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire, into the foothills of the Adirondacks, Hudson Valley, and into northern Pennsylvania here. And some of those counties up there north of the Poconos there, you're going to be experiencing some snow showers this morning, and we'll show you that later on the radar there. So that's what we have nationally. Out west, just high wind warnings through some of the canyons and passes of the San Gabriels and the Santa Monica Mountains of Southern California there. So if you're coming along 15 there through Temecula and through some of the passes of San Diego and down into the Borrego Springs, east of San Diego, and then up in the north of LA and some of those passes there, Sepulveda Pass, be very careful. There's a high wind watch in effect for that area there. Now, moving on to the Storm Prediction Center here. Today's convective outlook, we just have a marginal outlook, a 1 out of 5 risk here for South Florida here. Some of these storms that may spin up, this is only a 20% chance of showers for the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, but some of these storms may be garden variety storms that can, nothing severe is forecast, but they can, according to the convective outlook discussion here, they can create some noise here and create some gusty wind and some lightning and some very weak instability here in this area. So we don't expect anything severe, but just there is a just general this is a 0 out of 5. Just general garden variety thunderstorms that could pop up in the day. It's temperatures in the 70s here, topping out close to 80 here. So for those who are running the marathon today, it's good that they got it out the way before noon, before lunchtime, the Miami Marathon, because of that situation there. But if we look at towards the advanced here, towards day 2, you see there's no thunderstorm forecast for any of the 50 states. So that's awesome. And day 3, no thunderstorms are forecast continually to affect any of the lower 48 United States. That's great news here. But looking at the forecast models here, we have courtesy of Tropical Tidbits here, we have the GFS model here. You can see that the rain showers are extending along a band here from eastern Texas up through Arkansas and Little Rock, through Champaign, Paducah, and through Indianapolis and into Chicagoland and Michigan, the lower Michigan here. But as we advance it here, let's go back to the beginning here. As you can see, we do have those snow showers here. This is going to be going on continuing throughout the day here around this low pressure here that's centered off the Delmarva coastline. These showers and snow showers will continue here throughout much of the day, and then it will push off to the east and leave us with clearing skies. You notice there's not a lot of cold air pressing in toward the northeast out of Canada. This is because we're still in this kind of a ridge and trough flow here, system here, trough in the east and the ridge out west, this big ridge out west here. It's kind of omega blocking pattern here, reverse omega blocking pattern. But you can see here, it's pretty much this warmth continues through Sunday, through Monday, through Tuesday, and into the first week of February here. You can see there's something that dives through just quickly through the southern Appalachians and off the coast here, providing a brief period of mixed precipitation. This is classic, typical of a La Nina year. We get this kind of mixed precipitation through the mid-Atlantic and through the deep south, as well as some parts of the northeast. Whether we get these kind of short bursts of snow. Most of the majority of snow stays confined to Canadian Maritimes and north here. But as you can see, as on Thursday, February the 1st here, another storm comes slamming into the Pacific Northwest here. This brings high mountain snows to the Sierra and heavy rains once again to California. Down through, if you're coming in off Route 1 here, south of San Francisco Bay here, you can experience some heavy rain here from Salinas all the way down to Oxnard. All those areas are going to be Santa Maria, Lompoc, all those areas are going to be experiencing heavy rain here. As we advance it further through this first week in February here on Friday, you can see intermountain snows here continue throughout west. That's good for the ski resorts. And then over in the east, the northeast, we have some snow continuing in the Adirondacks and New England and the high country off of Watertown and Buffalo as the low pressure system wraps off. But no snow for the mid-Atlantic and no snow for the Midwest here. It's just cold northwest winds wrapping around here to bring us back to reality of winter. Now, as we continue to advance it, you can see the cold air dips in here again on Saturday, February the 3rd here, the first Saturday in February. And some snow showers are possible in New England, but there is no snow for out west and down south at all. It's just rain, plain rain, and we continue to advance it through the first week of February. So we get one cold dip here in the first week of February. The second week of February begins, and we still see moderate air for this winter time here. So for you snow lovers, there is a chance for snow briefly, but nothing accumulating heavy, maybe 1 to 3 inches for the northeast and mid-Atlantic here, as you can see. In the second week of February, you can see that continues here. This ridge and trough pattern continues to affect out west, causing warm temperatures above average temperatures out west and the Midwest, and just a little bit of average temperatures to below average temperatures for the northeast and the mid-Atlantic, and the south stays warm. So this winter, besides that one storm we've had that hit last week or week before last, we haven't had much accumulating snow for this big I-95 corridor or in the central corridor here, but that may be changing maybe as we get into late February and into the beginning of March. But we don't see any rapid cold air that's going to be coming here. And this is the current surface mass that we have going on here. As you can see, once again, high pressure is in control. A few troughs here, but most of the weather is confined to this advancing cold front that's going to be exiting the Florida coast sometime tomorrow morning here. And what this is going to bring is, so if you're anywhere along I-95 in Florida, let's say from St. Augustine down through the Space Coast, Melbourne Beach, I-4, Tampa, Orlando corridor, Lakeland corridor, and down through Naples, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Keys, you're going to experience scattered garden variety showers, just rain and thunderstorms, nothing severe once again. But these showers are going to cause an impact to your day, and they're going to, just carry an umbrella or rain poncho with you. Now, this snow mixed precipitation that we see here is going to continue for the Ohio Valley into the Delmarva Peninsula into Pennsylvania, but most of the mixed precipitation is a chance for freezing rain. So if you're going to be going out on any of these roads, say I-87 toward the Albany, the Capital District, down through the Hudson Valley towards White Plains and northern New Jersey, be very careful in the morning and in afternoon hours through at least 3 to 4 p.m. because there's a chance of freezing rain possible here. Now, it will be all snow as we get north of that Albany into the Adirondacks, into northern Vermont, like Burlington, Montpelier, into New Hampshire, and also in the Maine, it'll be all snow, as well as Buffalo, Watertown, Syracuse. That's all snow, no concerns there. But that zone, but they have this pink stripes coming across here. That includes cities like Albany, Albany, the Finger Lakes District, possibly northern Pennsylvania, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, all those areas, Northampton County of Pennsylvania, and also back into the Laurel Highlands here of Pennsylvania, and western Maryland, Garrett County, and out toward west of Cumberland on I-68. So if you're coming through there, the Breezewood interchange, be very careful. Some of that could be mixing with freezing rain, as well as in Hudson River Valley, New York, all those areas, Watertown, Poughkeepsie, Albany, all those areas on the I-87 corridor, I-684 corridor, Brewster, into Massachusetts, the western half of Massachusetts, the Berkshires. If you come along the Massachusetts Turnpike and into southern Vermont, be very careful because that's mixing with freezing rain as an effect there. Just want to clarify that. Now, as we go to radar scope here, We can show you some of that on the radar here. We can show you here. This is the Buffalo, New York radar. As I advance the screen here, you can see that we have moderate to heavy snowfall coming through Buffalo here and south of Buffalo. As many times these banding sets up here, but this is not lake effect. This is actually system effect snow. So this is not lake effect. As you can see, there's kind of a convergence boundary coming along here, just to the south of Buffalo and West Seneca, Hamburg. You're getting heavy, typical snow belt towns down through Yorkshire and Freedom and Ashford, New York. So this has been heavy, but once again, this is not lake effect. This is just system effect snow as the cold front advances through this region and continues on eastward, and that low pressure system off the coast, Atlantic coast I showed you earlier, is advancing. Now we also can see some of the other radars here, courtesy of Radar Scope here. I want to show you the radar in Florida here, of South Florida, to show you the kind of garden variety storms that we have here. This radar out of Miami here, and you can see right now there is these scattered showers that are just advancing into the picture here, coming across the Everglades here on I-75, Alligator Alley. They're coming across here. They'll be there within the next hour or two toward Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood Beach, Dania Beach, Coral Springs, Boca Raton. These areas, Boynton Beach. These areas need to watch out for these garden variety quick moving showers. As you can see, they're moving at a quick pace here. East-northeast at 24 knots here. Some of these cells are moving non-severe once again, but these showers will cause you to interrupt your plans if you're on the beach or if you're out watching the game, the football games. Anyway, you want to be inside a bar inside where you have cover and shelter as these storms come across here. We can get a better view of that. Some of the storms advancing northward here as we check the West Palm Beach radar here. Let's check some of the northern radars here. We got let's check the West Palm Beach radar and see if we see any more showers. These here, more showers are more numerous here, and these are actually moving a little bit slower east northeast at 29 knots, but these showers continue to affect. So if you're coming through Palm Beach County, through Wellington, maybe hitting the Florida Turnpike, coming down through going down through Coral Springs, the Palm Beach Gardens and all of that, be very careful. These storms are coming through, may reduce visibility temporarily here, and it continues on here through Martin County, Indian River County. So if you're in Indian River County, Martin County, Palm City, Palm Coast, Port St. Lucie, all these areas, Hobbs Sound, Jupiter Island, this is where all the showers continue. Fort Pierce, St. Lucie. So these just garden variety Florida typical storms here with this front, which is good news. They need the rain, but it put damper on some of the weekend plans. This will be out and gone by tomorrow. So this is what we have going on today at the Weather Guru station for today and tomorrow, Monday morning. Please be sure to subscribe. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you very soon.